I'm Gary Resnick with Aero Systems Integration, and we're glad to be co-sponsoring this presentation with Interactive. So to begin with, who is Aero SI? We're a proud division of Aero Electronics, founded 81 years ago on Radio Row in Manhattan, selling radios and radio parts to the public. Aero has grown to a $23 billion a year company, spanning 83 countries and occupying position 119 on the Fortune 500 list. As you can see on your screen, we're a cradle-to-grave enterprise, doing everything from designing and distributing electronic components, anything that takes a charge, to working with our clients to create fully formed solutions out of those components, such as kiosks, MRI machines, and virtual computing platforms. Our components are so prevalent that by the time you have a cup of coffee in the morning, Aero will have touched your life 5 times, 20 times by the time you go to bed at night. As to the part you see in red, we're a vendor-agnostic systems integrator, taking disparate solutions and making them work together, be they on your desktop, in your data center, or in the cloud. As a systems integrator, one of our strongest assets is the relationship we have with our valued partners. The ability to offer our clients a variety of products and services is important to our clients to be able to stay current and relevant in an ever-changing technology environment. A perfect reflection of our partnerships is the one we have with our interactive intelligence partners. We work closely with Interactive to strategically offer some of the greatest solutions in the industry. We're pleased to have David Worley on this session, who in a moment will be taking a deeper dive into their company, as well as their PureCloud Engage solution. At the end of the cycle comes Aero Valued Recovery, or AVR. AVR collects servers, PCs, mobile devices, anything that stores data, wipes them clean, and then either disposes of them in an ecologically friendly manner, and then returns them or sells them. At Aero SI, we offer a full suite of services, once again cradle to grave, everything from consultation to implementation, support, endpoint management and training, all under the heading of Aero SI Prism Services. So there you have it. We design, create, combine, and dispose, and even finance, all under the Aero banner. Now over to Interactive.
Thank you, Gary. So this is Interactive Intelligence's corporate fact sheet. Interactive Intelligence is a publicly traded company headquartered in Indianapolis, Indiana. We have over 35 global offices and roughly 2,000 global employees. Our revenue in 2015 was $390 million, and that was a 15% increase from the prior year. In 2015, we also saw cloud revenue of just under $100 million, and that was a 62% increase from the previous year. Interactive Intelligence has over 400 partners represented in 60 countries, and we have over 6,000 deployments worldwide. And as you can see, Interactive Intelligence has numerous certifications. One of the single biggest drivers at Interactive Intelligence is building technology to address change. Your customers are changing, you recognize that, and you recognize you have to change. And therefore, Interactive Intelligence has built technology that supports change. The challenge for our customers is that it's not always easy to change. If change is happening so quickly, how do you keep up? Do I have the budget and knowledge and know how to change or what to change to? If my infrastructure is outdated, then I really just simply can't change. And most importantly, if I don't know what my customers' new expectations will be tomorrow, how do I know that the new technology I need today will be relevant in the future? It's amazing how fast things are changing. Just imagine 6,000 tweets per second, 350,000 tweets per minute, 1.2 billion apps on iTunes alone. It's just yesterday, seems like just yesterday that I downloaded my first app. It's truly overwhelming. But change goes way beyond technology. Let's take a look at millennials, those individuals born between the early 1980s and 2005-ish. Millennials are beginning to represent the majority of your customers, and their expectations and attitudes toward technology are very different from the Gen X and the baby boomers. However, millennials are also defining changes in customer expectations. The other generations are now following their lead. Millennials are all about fast and expedient service and self-service. They don't necessarily care about friendly service. They just want it done fast. They're going to call you, but only if the issue is complex or they feel the need to speak with a human being. 72% want to be served via a mobile app. Do you have one? If you do, is it integrated into your contact center? And they're using multiple channels, sometimes simultaneously. 8 out of 10 millennials are using multiple channels to get issues resolved, and 9 out of 10 expect a seamless cross-channel experience. It's all about what they're doing at that particular moment. Whether it's at work, at the grocery store, at play, or at home, the channel is going to depend a lot based on the location. PureCloud can help your business meet the customer engagement challenges you are facing today, and most importantly, offer an effortless experience to each and every customer that you interact with. PureCloud Engage gives you a complete customer engagement solution for managing multiple types of customer interactions. But it's important to note that Engage is just one of the powerful services offered on the PureCloud platform. PureCloud is a complete communication solution. Not all clouds are created equal. Many older cloud applications are monolithic under the covers. Even though they can serve multiple tenants, they're built as a large set of highly interdependent components. A failure in one component can have devastating impact on another, resulting in a service outage for many or even all clients. The problems are often aggravated by deployment in data centers with limited access to hardware. The PureCloud platform takes a radically different approach. Instead of using a number of tightly coupled components, it divides its functionality into hundreds of microservices. Each microservice is stateless and independently load balanced. Let's compare clouds. A monolithic cloud architecture relies on massive amounts of interlinked software. If one piece of the software breaks, the whole app and other apps that are interlinked must be updated. Whereas a true cloud architecture is made up of independent microservices. Updates can be made to smaller independent microservices without impacting the whole. A monolithic cloud architecture requires complex annual upgrades. This can include massive amounts of time planning and even downtime. But with a true cloud, you get continuous updates and innovation. New features or enhancements are rolled out consistently with little to no impact on the user. A monolithic cloud can include multiple points of failure. PureCloud, it's a platform for change. You get resilient microservices architecture. Instead of using a number of tightly coupled components, it divides its functionality into hundreds of microservices. Each service is stateless and independently load balanced. Furthermore, the PureCloud platform is built on top of Amazon Web Services and deployed in multiple regions around the globe. The platform itself offers unparalleled reliability and disaster recovery. The entire PureCloud platform is deployed in multiple AWS regions, each consisting of multiple independent Amazon data centers. This sort of distributed deployment provides the ultimate in geographic fault tolerance and disaster recovery. You also get scalability and availability. A failure in one microservice has no impact on other services. For example, one microservice might handle voicemail retrieval while another provides outbound faxing and yet another routes incoming customer calls. A problem in the voicemail retrieval microservice can't affect other microservices, greatly limiting the scope and potential problems. Each microservice can scale up to meet the current load independently of the others. Thus, one tenant's need to send all of a sudden 1 million faxes causes the associated microservice to scale up to meet the demand without impacting other tenants. The PureCloud platform isn't limited by the constraints of the equipment in a proprietary data center. Just as Netflix can release a new TV show or TV series without worrying about how many viewers will log in at any time, the PureCloud platform and its microservices can tap into the essentially limitless capacity of Amazon Web Services. There's also enterprise-grade security, and let's be honest, one of the big knocks on cloud applications is the potential of security breaches. While nothing's perfect, we've gone through extraordinary lengths to make PureCloud extremely secure. Of course, we encrypt all the traffic between the cloud and your organization, but that's just the beginning. Most other cloud vendors concentrate on keeping intruders out, but have very little protection if they get in. We go as far to encrypt all the traffic inside the cloud as well. We also encrypt all our data at rest. This is what enables us to pass stringent certifications like HIPAA. We also conduct constant updated and automated intrusion detection, as well as periodic intrusion certifications using very well-known third parties such as TrustWave. As mentioned earlier, you can keep all voice traffic completely encrypted on your own network by means of our PureCloud Edge appliance. And soon, the platform will give you the option of storing call recordings locally so that even those never pass outside your firewall. With the PureCloud platform, your valuable internal and external communications can be as secure as you want them to be. And last, you get continuous innovation. Interactive Intelligence can update PureCloud services on a continuous basis, fixing bugs almost instantly and adding new features at an incredibly fast rate. The independence of microservices allow Interactive Intelligence to push out bug fixes without the fear of inadvertently breaking something else. What's more, Interactive Intelligence can create microservices for new functionality like web co-browsing or WebRTC without impacting other services. Such updates can be done without taking down the entire platform, even while millions of customers are actively using the PureCloud services. Customers can decide when to make new features available to their employees. Significant new features are hidden behind feature flags. You, as a customer, decide when to activate a feature for your organization by simply checking a box. PureCloud Engage was built from the ground up using our over 20 years of experience in the contact center infrastructure space. It's a true cloud solution that's simple to use with simple pricing. It offers a modern user experience that agents, supervisors, and administrators can use on day one. No specialized training needed. It's time to rethink your contact center and remove the complexities that are holding you back. PureCloud Engage is a complete customer engagement solution built from the ground up. It gives you everything you need out of the box to successfully engage with your customers via any channel or device. It includes built-in performance and workforce optimization capabilities and offers deep integrations with other data sources like CRM. The solution offers a fully unified web interface for agents, supervisors, and administrators with a modern look and feel that's simply easy to use. Some of the features include WebRTC, full omnichannel routing, speech-enabled IVR with our very own speech solution built in, fully blended outbound campaigns with multiple modes of dialing, real-time performance and data and analytics, recording, monitoring, quality evaluations and feedback, workforce management for scheduling, forecasting, and schedule adherence, and out-of-the-box CRM integrations. In summary, why PureCloud Engage? Simple pricing, true cloud offers with continuous innovation, no monolithic software, a feature-rich contact center solution with built-in IVR, WFO, and speech, all in one solution, super fast deployment, now in weeks, not months, Amazon Web Services for reliability, scalability, and security, full business communication solution with collaboration and communication built in. I'm now going to hand the presentation over to David Ham from Interactive Intelligence that's going to take a deep dive into the PureCloud Engage and give a demonstration.
Thanks, David. So the PureCloud platform is consisting of, as Dave mentioned, 3 different levels or 3 different purposes. At the foundation of the PureCloud platform is PureCloud Collaborate. And so what we're looking at here in front of you is my profile within PureCloud Collaborate. So everybody in the organization will have a PureCloud profile which will pull information in about their backgrounds, maybe their skill sets, their locations, from various back-end systems, the organizational structure, anything else that might be relevant. This information becomes very helpful when individuals are trying to find other individuals, maybe with certain skill sets or just by name. So I can start typing in maybe this medical skill set and very quickly start to drill down into some of my various users who have those skills available. So I see a list of people within the organization who fit that criteria, and I can scroll down and find some individuals who might be available to help me out. And as you might notice here, every photo is going to have its own profile. So the presence component of this allows me to see who's available, who are my agents perhaps who are on queue or handling interactions at any given point in time. This becomes quickly the method of communicating and collaborating with other individuals in the organization, and we quickly move from a very slow, typically an email methodology of communicating when you don't exactly know how quickly you can return or get answers sent back to you. We move directly into more of a real-time collaborative environment where we see some of my colleagues here where I've spent some time working and interacting with them, either in a one-on-one setting or perhaps in my group setting. So in this case, my technical sales team spends a lot of the time collaborating and discussing some of the capabilities and sharing information through this methodology in PureCloud Collaborate. As part of the collaboration tool, I also have the capability to, if I have Communicate, which is the next tier up, or if I simply want to do maybe a face-to-face video call through the Collaborate capabilities, I can select the video call and initialize a Collaborate video directly within the tool here, and I could reach out to Carl in this case and add him and others into this video. From here, we often spend time sharing our screens and also sharing documents that are available in the full-featured document storage within PureCloud, virtually unlimited in space because it's in the cloud, and I can then begin to share. As we see some of these links, I can share some of those documents. We can review and organize those documents and make them searchable. So we don't have to go to other applications to try to make all this collaboration happen. Now, when we move on to the next tier, then we can quickly get into the communication level. So as I mentioned, this we start to work in the phone system side of things. So if I need to, as a business user, reach out to other people and use the phone to do so, or reach out outside of the organization, I can use PureCloud Communicate to do that. One of the important things to note within PureCloud Communicate is the ability to specify a variety of different endpoints. So if people have work-from-home business users, work-from-home agents, they can point to a variety of phone options as their voice endpoint, but use the same use the same PureCloud interface to handle that. So you can see one of these is pointing specifically to my phone. The other stations are pointing to workstations that I have on my desk, either at my home office or my regular office. And we also have the capability to take advantage of WebRTC, where all the voice traffic goes through the browser, and I simply would just plug my headset into my laptop and begin handling my calls in that manner. So I'll select David H. Office as my phone station in this case. But we also see across the board here, I have the capability then to manage faxes, if that's something relevant in your business. Also being able to see my voicemails, any recordings I might have. And from a customer service and a customer engagement perspective, any supervisors who might be handling evaluations, so the workforce optimization, quality evaluations, and all that goes into workforce optimization. I'll be able to review evaluations maybe that have been assigned to me, and we'll take a little deeper look at that in a couple minutes, as well as if we're using scheduling and forecasting and people are submitting time off requests, I can review those in this method too. One of the things you'll note throughout PureCloud is the simplicity of the interface itself, anywhere from the business user all the way through to the administration of the system. It's a very simple interface to use, it's a very clean interface to use, and there are a lot of resources along the way that make it very obvious and very helpful to perform the various actions that people use in any of those levels. So if I need to reach out, let's reach out to Carl one more time to place a call out. I could absolutely use the keypad on my right there on the screen, or I might just start typing Carl's name in, right? And so once I place that call, we can see my call control shows up here at the bottom of that button. I can place that call out, and maybe I want to initialize and add other people into it. So I can easily make that a conference call by maybe just looking at, let's maybe search by skills. Maybe if we need to find people with certain skills, I can scroll down and find any individuals who have sales in their profile and reach out to those individuals. Or as we saw with Carl, I can reach out by name. And one of my colleagues, Jacqueline here, who's not actually online, but I will get her voicemail, or maybe I need to reach out and connect to one of our external contacts, in this case the weatherman. So I can very easily create a conference call within this environment. Now once that's created, the internal people, Jacqueline, Carl, and myself, will have this chat window at the bottom. So if there are certain things that we need to discuss behind the scenes while we have that conference call going on with our customer, well, we can do so right there within the collaboration tool. But again, the capabilities of recording, adding individuals, placing people on hold. If Carl's dog starts barking in the background, I can select mute, so I don't have to rely on that person maybe figuring that out and muting themselves. They have that capability to do so within the conference call. And I could also reach out and call individuals, drag them into this conference, and anything I need to do from there. And it's a very intuitive interface to make all of that happen. Now these bottom two icons down the left side here start to get into more of the contact center side of things. So if I click on the Life Preserver on the left side, this is an assistance request tool that agents would have where they can essentially take advantage of some of the collaboration chat capabilities and reach out to supervisors for help, so they don't have to go searching for somebody to maybe sign off on an approval or answer some more difficult questions. The bottom interaction icon here shows, in this case, I'm working on multiple interactions. This is a multi-channel environment, so there on the top left you see a chat that I've been working on. And it shows there in the time ticker, by the way, how long that chat's been connected, as well as how long it's been since a particular response has been put into the chat field. They're actually waiting on me to respond, so I probably need to get on that. The bottom section it displays an email that I'm working through, and it's been connected for a little while here, as well as a tweet. So from Twitter, we are monitoring for certain words and phrases. In this case, we're listening for that phrase there at the end of that. It says PureCloud Now Demo, and it recognized that somebody mentioned that in a tweet, so it picked that up and routed it into this member services queue and delivered it to me in this case. So gives you an example of what the multi-channel capabilities are within PureCloud. And by the way, once you have all this together, whether they're phone calls, chats, emails, social media, whatever the case, all that reporting comes together. All your interactions become searchable and reviewable. Quality management can go and review any of those types of interactions, and you have a single pane of glass for your agents to be able to handle whatever type of interaction they need to be handling. And you have full control over what that experience is like for the agents themselves. So you have control over whether they can handle multiple chats, or maybe they need to handle one at a time, but they could also get emails on top of that. Well, what if a phone call comes in? Well, in that case, maybe we don't allow anything else to come through. So let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and close these interactions out, and I'll send in a phone call, and we'll take a look at what that looks like real briefly, and then we'll see what that looks like from more of a supervisor perspective. And as you see, when I close these, I'm also selecting wrap-up codes, fully customizable to whatever relates to your business. Okay. And this chat, by the way, if I come in and I need to enter some standard responses in the chat, I'll also have capabilities around the interaction details, canned responses, which is where I was headed. So we can do a search on a keyword and find what those responses might be. Maybe our standard entry, if we look for that information, we can go ahead and drop that directly into the chat itself very easily. So that's standardizing the messaging that's going to be used within any of those interactions that come through. Now I'm going to disconnect, like I said, I'm going to disconnect that chat, and I'm going to put myself on queue. I took myself out of queue so I wouldn't continue to receive other interactions. And now I have this phone call that came into view. And I can see down through the script here that we're pulling in some dynamic information. We're taking advantage of some of the controls that we can add to these scripts of secure pause for PCI compliance, for instance, reaching out to web services to display maybe a dynamic map that's available. There are a lot of the different things that we can do within those scripts which, by the way, the scripts can be applied to inbound and outbound interactions. Now, when I have this call connected, I still have my capabilities around canned responses, the notes that get added. I can also schedule a callback. So I can reach in, and if they need me to call them back the next day at the same time, I can drop that in, and that's going to be delivered to me if I want that to be the case. Right. Or I might decide that I need to transfer that, either a warm transfer or a consult transfer, as we call it, or a blind transfer. And maybe I need to reach out based on not just a username, but I want to reach out into maybe people who have certain skills, like sales in this case, or maybe I'm reaching out into another queue where I'm specifying, or I want to take a look at how many interactions are waiting, how many agents are available. This looks like a pretty good situation where there's still all the agents are available to handle that particular call. Okay. So again, very intuitive interface, very easy to use for the agents, and it takes all that guesswork out so that they can just do their job and very effectively see what they need to see. This can also be integrated to CRM, so maybe those call controls get displayed directly in the CRM or the ticketing system, and that's a very popular thing to do. Now, from a supervisor perspective, you look down under this performance drop-down, and that typically is focused on more of the supervisor tools. We can look into the statistics for queues, specifically for agents, maybe stats for the outbound campaigns if we're doing some automated outbound dialing. Scheduled callbacks, right? I spend a good deal of my time within this dashboard view where I can look to see either my quality evaluator or my quality management assignments I need within my workforce optimization tools, being able to get in there and complete those evaluations directly within the tool. Whether it's as an agent, I want to look at my own statistics or my own schedule. So I can see the schedule actually pulling up here across the bottom, showing me when I'm supposed to be on the phones. Or as we're headed into the supervisor side of things, being able to see everything that's happening within any of my queues on various levels within the my service level statistics. And I can click into that and drill down and see specifically what's happening here. Maybe I want to look at the interactions that are currently in place, and I can easily click on one of those and to monitor that. If I want to take a look at Raphael's call here, I could go in and monitor Raphael, either continuing to monitor Raphael after this call and the other calls that he's handling, or monitoring just specifically this call. I can listen in on that and see, as we see here, this dynamic timeline to see what's been happening. Has this been offered to somebody else who got to handle this call, or they didn't pick it up, or it got transferred around? You see all that data within the timeline, and when this call is historical, when it's disconnected, you still have all that contact and that context involved there. And as I mentioned, if we, within evaluation summaries, I can attach an evaluation that's built directly in PureCloud that meet whatever needs and whatever questions are relevant. That can be attached either automatically or manually through this interface. And if we go back and search on maybe historic interactions, say let's look at some from yesterday, we can see a stereo recording that it'll pull up here in one moment as it transcodes this, and we'll also have that visibility into the timeline like we mentioned before. So that static timeline still applies here like we talked about. Okay. A variety of reports are available. These four are just ones that I've built based on the canned reports that are available within the system. So each one of these categories will contain several different reports, and it's very easy to come through and build in a very similar, simple interface to build these reports out, maybe schedule these reports, and narrow them down and focus on what data you want to be applied here. We capture a great deal of data on everything that happens in the system, and so this gives a nice tool to be able to reach into that and pull the information that's needed. And again, in a multi-channel environment, you have all the data of all the different interaction types you happen to be using. Lastly, we get into the administration of the system, and again, the simplicity is kind of a theme throughout this. So if I'm going through and I'm adding in users to a queue, I'm configuring my outbound dialing for maybe agentless or predictive dialing or progressive. There's several different types that we can handle. I'm building scripts, my quality evaluations that I want to build, configuring my social channels. So what words am I listening for on Twitter? And also building out my workforce management, my forecasting and scheduling. So historically, the system knows what's been happening, what skills have been required, what interaction types have been handled, what skills the agents have, and then it goes through and allows you to build forecasts around that, and then to generate to generate the schedules for those agents. The last component I want to make sure we hit on is Architect, and this is really where we build out call flows. So again, I keep saying simple interface, a very simple interface to come through and generate the call flows that are needed. Somebody calls into the system, what do they hear? How do they navigate? From the administration side of this, we determine which of these call flows happens at different times. Somebody calls in at 3 a.m. on a Sunday, are they going to have something different happen? Are they going to hear different prompts? Are they routed to different people as compared to maybe 1 p.m. on a Tuesday afternoon? So what we're looking at here is I'm using my toolbox on the left side to drag and drop some of my transfer to ACD. In this case, this is transferring into a queue, and let's just call this help desk. We're going to prompt them to press 4 for that option, or they can say help desk, and they can take advantage of our own speech recognition that we've built into PureCloud. This is not an outside system. This is not a third-party system. This is our own speech reco that we've built directly into the PureCloud platform and can be utilized. Maybe we set some priorities around that particular call to potentially move that ahead in line if needed. And we maybe select one of my queues here. Some of the other options we have, just as at a real high level, we can go in and build tasks. And these tasks are simply contained routines, if you will, or flows that get reused potentially from time to time. So if you're doing a data dip into another system or you're prompting them for information, it's very easy to come through and build a task and utilize your toolbox on the left side here to drop in objects, maybe like collecting input from the caller. I can draw that over, and once we've collected that input, assign it as a variable, and then we can use that variable to maybe reach into another system. But overall, you're looking at how this flow can be created. We're simply dragging objects into the flow and making the system do what we need it to do. This comes with full versioning. You can export versions of this and use it in other environments of PureCloud. We can revert back to previous published versions if we need to. And you have real-time validation, which becomes very useful as I'm trying to build a call flow that functions correctly. I want to know where any of these errors or any of these warnings might be relevant to the call flow that I've created, and I can easily come through and select one of those. And it's going to jump to the location where I need to drop in the detail that needs to be corrected. So in this case, just selecting a queue. And so now we're down to 2 errors because I corrected that 1 error. Okay. This is all available in multiple languages, so offers a lot of flexibility around global organizations. But you see the real simple interface for that, which makes it, again, very intuitive and very simple to use, but very powerful all at the same time. Now I'm going to turn it back over to Gary to wrap things up for us.
Thanks very much, David, for the great presentation. On behalf of AeroSI and Interactive Intelligence, I'd like to thank you for joining us today. Please contact your AeroSI representative if you'd like to learn more about PureCloud. Thank you.